I essentially ran away from our relationship.
Both of my parents got married 4 separate times.
I went from barely taking care of myself to being a wife and then being a mother of 2.
Wow.
It was like I had twins.
They didn't care what you got. My dad used to say, don't do as I do, because I had already vowed to myself that I didn't want that for my child. I said that when I did it, I was going to do it one time. I won't mess it up. For the record, this woman asked me to marry her.
Oh.
My Dope Blend family, we are so excited today about today's episode. It's going to be great. Definitely when you guys hear about it, you guys gotta like and subscribe, give your comments. We're on all social media platforms. We're on, of course, IG, My Dope Blend Podcast. I Am the Bonus Club. We're also on TikTok, BeMom40. We are just super excited about all things to come with this episode. It's actually in continuation of another season, right?
Yeah, with a little twist of line.
Yeah. So are we ready to talk about who's going to be here today?
I think let's do it.
Today we have
the Walkers.
We are super excited to have them today, and they are married, of course. You guys have been married for how many years now?
1,000.
Plus 20.
My God.
A long time. But if you guys remember, for those who have been, with this journey with us from the beginning, we had Alicia on season 2, and she is a therapist, and she talked a lot about, experiences, things that she's been dealing with as a bonus mom, because she is a bonus mom, but she also gave us, spiritual tips of how to get through those things. That episode, and I can't wait for you all to see it, because season 2 is just amazing. It was just so organic. We just flowed, we laughed, we joked about things, and a lot of it resonated with me because we're in the same seat. As bonus moms, we also we go to church together. It's just a wonderful dynamic to have someone so close knit to you that experiences the same thing you do. In addition, and can identify. In addition, we have her husband, Ben Walker.
See.
And my husband wanted that so bad, so bad. And you see him, y'all see him. Y'all gotta see. For those who are viewing, he fly.
Let's
He
go.
is so fly.
Let's go.
But Ben is a teacher, and he is wonderful in that he teaches at. Do you want to tell him what school?
Oh yes, I teach at the Ron Clark Academy.
Great school. Yes.
It's been a great experience.
Yes. So we're going to get all sides of this, because I think it's really important as a married couple. One, y'all are in a blended situation. You have some new revelation to that too as well in a blended situation, but you also are a teacher. So it's funny because you get to see all angles, as you deal with kids every single day. So we're going to dig right into it. We're just going to go for it, right?
Yeah. You ready to get into it?
Let's get into it, y'all. Y'all ready for this? All right. Alrighty, guys, blend. Let's talk about it. So, on the last episode,
start one more time.
Okay.
I can start over again, but this time, you want me to do it? Okay.
Forgot.
No, she did.
I did. Okay. You totally missed. I was listening.
No, she started with Alicia.
I started.
She went to bed. That's I was like,
Okay.
it's okay.
So what we gotta do now?
No, we just starting like.
Okay. Go. Keep going. Okay.
Hold on. Okay. We basically just cut to the intro, and now we start the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Much. Just fun. Let's talk. I have all this. You can go ahead. Okay. Yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Y'all did all right.
I get ready.
Okay.
All right, you ready for this? Let's do it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So in season 2, we kind of left off, you explained to us how, you instantly, of course, became the bonus mom and, what that required of you and how, it really impacted you in a way. And I want you to kind of revisit that a little bit, talk a little bit about that experience. And we're going to kind of go a little bit deeper into it because now we got Ben. We got to get his point of view.
I don't know who's more nervous. You.
I'm nervous. Just thinking back when we were first married, I don't even know if I shared this story before, but even before we got married, I essentially ran away from our relationship because he had a son. I didn't have any children. I barely knew how to take care of myself. So that was a lot. But when we got married, we got pregnant, and my oldest daughter, who is now,
How well?
she is, when I was pregnant with her, my bonus son's mom sent him to live with us. So essentially, I went from barely taking care of myself to being a wife and then being a mother of 2.
Wow.
It was like I had twins.
Yes.
So it was very overwhelming. And my mom tells a story of how she could remember my daughter Alexis in the back seat crying because she had colic. And my son just talking because he's very talkative. And she said she could just remember me like driving off into the sunset like this because I was so just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
By all of it. And, trying to be a good wife and trying to make sure that he was comfortable, meaning my son was comfortable. But it was a dynamic that I had never seen because my parents were together. So I didn't know like divorce.
Okay.
I didn't know like bonus, death, none of that. So it was a learning curve for me, and it was overwhelming. I didn't have the tools at the time, and I definitely didn't have the capacity to.
Wow.
How old was he?
9.
He was 9. Okay. So let me ask you this. In all honesty, was it something that you discussed and took into consideration that she was about to be a new mom, or you felt immediately, okay, my son has to come and that's just what it's going to be?
No, we discussed it, and for years I have been making great attempts
Okay.
to get my son. It just never happened. I think it was the ploy of his mom to make the decision to send him to kind of cause condition. It did the exact opposite.
Wow.
Which was, which is bad because a lot of times in the blended situation, moms make the decision to use the kid as a pawn to ultimately get what they think.
Yep.
Right.
You're right.
The kid suffers.
Sure.
So it was, for me, okay, I'm going to draw it back just a little bit.
Okay.
For myself, I don't know if my wife shared this in the previous episode, but both of my parents been married 4 times. And my wife's parent been married over 50 years. Wow. So I go from
16
years. Wow. I can fit in any situation because I've had to do it.
Wow.
4 separate times.
Whoa.
Okay, so for me, walking into a blended situation was
That's your normal. That's
like, oh, you my brother, you my mom today. Okay, I just know I can't call you daddy, not in front of my daddy, but I can't call you mommy in front of my mother because my mom ain't that, nor is my dad. So I learned how to say what I needed to say to make everyone feel comfortable.
Wow.
I learned early how to make that work. So when you talk about a kid, before I even got to college, my dad was in his 4th marriage. My mom was in her 4th. I went from one home to another home to rules over there that were different than rules over here. So it's nothing for me. So when this all came about, I was like, okay, I know how to maneuver. She didn't know how to maneuver it, but I was like, I know how to make this work. And I just did what I knew.
so. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You're immune to it, but have you ever dealt with it? Did you ever deal with going from marriage to marriage, house to house,
Well,
sibling to sibling. Did anybody ask you how you feel?
no one asked me how I felt because back then, kids
You just,
stayed in a child's place.
and we just talked.
We have talked about that.
Weren't asked what we felt. They didn't care what you felt. My dad used to say, "You do it. Don't do as I do. Do as I say." And that was just the reality. So you just
went along with it.
stayed in your place.
Wow.
So how did I deal with it? I can tell you exactly how I dealt with it. I realized at a young age that something was wrong with that. And I wasn't certain as to whether or not my kids would be able to do what I did. They would be strong enough. And I don't ever want to say that I made a mistake, but when I had a child out of wedlock, that was my mistake. That was bad. Because I had already vowed to myself that I didn't want that for my child.
Sure.
It happened. It's what it is. But God blessed me with the opportunity to meet this woman.
Yeah.
And I said that when I did it, I was going to do it one time. And one time only. Yeah. So that's how I fixed it.
Wow.
You were, I'm not doing that more time thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
That's
The same.
That's how. And I made a commitment to God. I said, you bless me with this, I will bless it up.
Wow.
Wow.
And that's what I did.
First of all, let me say this.
Yes.
My man.
4 times. Like,
So glad you're here.
But
I am so glad that you're here because I have been sharing this entire season that as my Dope Blend podcast has continued to grow, as the Bonus Club has continued to grow, we've been able to see, and as the husband, I've been able to see the growing voice of men
Yeah.
that follow us,
Yeah.
that comment, that chime in, that can see themselves through the stories that we tell. And one of the things that I personally, and I shared this with Leslie going into season 3, that I was hopeful that we could really tell the story of men in the blended dynamic.
Absolutely.
You know, she's always done a great job of that, in including not just bonus moms, but bonus dads. But this season is the first time I feel like we're actually really embracing and telling the story, not just of the bonus mom, not just of the female, not just of the wife, but of the husband and of the bio dad, the male perspective. So we had no idea that your story was that on both sides, mom and dad, 4 times each.
Before you
Got to college.
I'm down. Yes.
Okay, so
Go do you, because
okay, I know.
that's
Listen.
this is so interesting. Like, seriously, this
Okay,
wow.
but I have a question for Alicia. Okay, you are a licensed therapist. You have married a man that. I love you.
That's interesting.
You have married a man that has come from a blended dynamic 4 times each on both sides. You have just professed the fact that you ran away before you even accepted it. I remember that story. I remember you sharing that. And, you know, now you've decided, okay, I'm going to make this decision to do this. And now you've married him, and now you instantly have what feels like twins. Okay. But before even getting into that, prior to that happening, what were your feelings already? Did you have any feelings already about the fact that he had experienced 4 different, or was it after now you're in a blended situation that you start to see, wait a minute, does it make sense what I'm asking?
I don't know before we got married that I knew that his parents had both been married 4 times. I knew that they were both at least, you know, in other relationships. So I knew of 3 with his
Okay.
dad before we got married.
Okay.
At the time, well, two.
Mm-hmm.
At the time we got married, he was married to his wife, who passed away after we were married. And so that was two
Okay.
that I knew of.
Okay.
His mom, she was in a marriage, and I knew that she had been married to his dad, and there was this other person that was kind of in the scenario, and I didn't really know how he fit in, because they do things a little differently. Like with my family, when you break up and you're not together,
That's it.
you ain't.
I already knew where they was getting ready to go. I'm surprised.
That's the perfect.
I'm surprised that those cue cards didn't come flying across
That's the
the table
Kirkland
when you
family.
said that.
That is his
All
family.
right.
That must be an up north thing.
My parents,
She puts down.
Oh.
she said,
Oh.
my mom is very loyal, and you don't get down with us.
That's it.
Nobody.
Okay.
Wow.
But in his way, everybody. So there was another person of Brown's. I didn't know.
Okay.
He fit.
Understood.
Long story short, I didn't really understand the dynamics of blended, because I had never, like, when I say never experienced it, I didn't. Everybody I knew growing up had two parents. I only had one friend in high school. Mom was a single mom, and I didn't understand divorce and what that really meant until I got to college and I was dating someone whose mom had remarried, and now he had a younger brother. And that was very like, so I didn't really know, but when we got together, it's a lot of people you got to keep up with.
Get confused.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, I wanted to ask that question.
No, because I was thinking the same thing, because I wanted to get her take from that therapist side. Like, were there things throughout your relationship that you saw, like, okay, because I'm the same. My parents have been married for 46 years. And so in my past of dating guys who come from divorced parents, their mindsets was not the same as mine. They didn't view marriage the same way I viewed it. It was easier for them, because it's like, I mean, my parents ain't together. I mean, it is what it is, so, and I saw things within the relationship that made me be like, okay, how would you take this in a marriage? Because what I have as a model, you don't have. Yeah. And some of those things roll over, and you don't realize it. And I know for me, there's one guy that I dated, his parents divorced because he stepped out or whatever, and he despised his dad, but the very person he despised, he became.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
And so in that, he was trying so hard not to be him. I'm like, you're trying so hard not to be somebody that you are. And so that's where I was going. Like, did you see things, because we talked about in a previous episode how, when you're blending, the parents never really go to the child and say, are you okay? It's the expectation, okay, I'm the adult, you deal with it, but then we act out. The child acts out in some type of form or fashion, or then you expect us as all the kids to be one big happy family. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know your motives. I don't know what you got like. And then at the same time, you've dealt with it 4 times. So in my mind, to be honest, I would be like, let's see how long this one's gonna go.
Right.
Real talk. So how does that work as you start dating? Because I know for some women, they have trust issues from those type of situations, So there none of that. So it's like, to hear you say that and to look at you and to talk and you're like, how I dealt with it is I went to God and I said, look, I'm doing this one time only, and I'm not going to be that. And you stuck to that.
Complete.
That's just.
Well, it was me, what I'm saying?
Come on here.
It was. But also, there's a love before that.
Okay. Okay.
Date with people and possibilities. So, I think him today is one story.
Okay.
Us,
the journey.
back then, in the beginning, before we got together, it's a different story. We were in our 20s. So
right.
imagine in your 20s.
Yes.
you think you want to be with this other person,
Right.
that goes along with that. We could have, our story could be a
Sure. Understood.
Yeah, what?
sunlight.
Yeah.
When it was real, it was kind of like one of those. I took a chance at letting the mom. Okay, my mom has this saying. She says, "If you love a bird, let a bird fly. Bird loves you."
Right.
So I put on my big boy drawers and I had a conversation with this young lady because I loved her so much that I wanted her to be happy. And she was kind of like coming off a relationship and wasn't really sure whether or not it's something.
No.
Dancing.
Oh no.
Say something. All right.
Oh, here we go.
Right there, right. That person right there is looking for an answer.
Yeah.
And this is the answer. Okay? Because people are
love it.
real lives today.
Yes.
And when they're living real lives, they want real answers.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I'm giving you the real
Give-
Okay. So the real deal here is she was in between a relationship,
Okay.
trying to figure out which way she wanted to go.
I get it.
But at the same time, we was kicking it.
Got it.
Okay.
Understood. Let's go. Yeah.
Feel like
Dudes going, well, we gonna do this right now.
And I think
Look at a snicker.
I got really serious
Okay. Got it.
because I recognized,
Who she was.
I get it. I got you. I got it.
but it was like for her, it was like, whoa,
That's our.
She said, "You serious?"
you way too serious. We're supposed to be just kidding. I'm trying to figure myself out. So, all right, cool. So then I started feeling some kind of way. And I was like, I don't like this feeling. So I said, I got to protect me. I said, you know what? We're going to have a conversation. We sat down, we had a conversation. I said, listen, if being over there is what you prefer,
Yeah.
I want what makes you happy. If you're going to go, go. He said, if you decide to come, it can.
Wow.
That was a straight gangster move, right?
Yeah.
But I really break
On the inside. On the inside. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was like, okay. And, I felt that emotion and I let it go.
Yeah.
And so, for the record, this woman asked me to marry her.
Oh.
David. Because what she then recognized is
Yeah.
when I allowed that bird,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that bird flew into a chicken coop
My.
and recognized that when she got to the coop,
This is so good. This is so good. This is so good.
and drinking beer.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know what?
This is about money.
No, I want to hear this.
That's what the blendedness is.
That's right.
I love.
Tell this story. Tell it.
So she recognized what she had.
Yeah.
Understood.
And she was like, I'm not going to settle.
Okay. Wow.
So she brought herself back. And I was standing there.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
And just and where we are.
That's
20,000 plus later.
20,000.
20,000.
I love it.
So what was the dynamic with your son's mother?
There never was a dynamic. From being one of them.
Okay.
I think that the blessing and the curse was that she was in New York and we were in Florida.
Okay.
I never wanted my wife to have to deal with that. So any communication was strictly I tried to create somewhat of a relationship. I tried.
Okay.
But she wanted me to feel the wrath and the pain. Whatever it was she was feeling, she wanted me to feel.
Oh, God.
So, when I recognized that, I was like, you know what? My wife doesn't deserve it. She didn't ask for this.
Wow.
But she did ask for it, but she didn't.
Understood.
So I still got to protect her from that. So I just monthly
Sure.
I have conversation.
Yeah.
I have to build myself up
Yeah.
to have a conversation.
Yes.
Have the conversation.
Yeah.
She always knew when I got off the phone.
Whew.
I did too.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd have to like literally open
Yes,
the
sir.
valve.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Like Lady Mattia.
Yeah.
And then she'd have to pump me back up
Wow.
because it was bad.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
first of all, this is so good. All right. So, when the decision was made for your son to come and live with y'all,
Right.
because you were continuing the communication with your son's mother,
Right.
she wasn't privy to that, or was she? Okay. Okay.
But I was, again, I didn't know really what that meant. So I was very Pollyanna. I'm still very Pollyanna. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the best about you.
Okay.
Like, even when you came and brought him, I was like, oh, we have to make space for her to stay with us. You're going to, this room. And he was like, no. I was like, that's so big. She's not here to bring.
Who that sound like?
Oh my God.
When you wanted to come stay with us. And he was like,
Look at why he's like, why would we? I'm like, why would we? That listen to me. So my husband's we're here. Everyone is here. The girls are 20 and 19. And I've always been, you need to know where they're laying their heads. Ask me if that's ever happened once. We've been in 3 homes. Not once. You don't know address. You don't know where the street is, what block to turn onto. Once. And it has nothing to do with me. I don't want you to see where I live. It's not even about me. But you got to feel comfortable to know where your child is laying their head. And if anything went down, will you be able to tell somebody where they got to go?
listen, this man's I know we look very young.
They do.
I don't know. My son is 35.
Mm-hmm.
So in 35 years, probably maybe when he was, I don't even know, I'm speaking on his behalf, but I remember us going to New York, but we knew where he lived.
Mm-hmm.
But never saw the inside of it.
Well, and that was only because I wasn't invited.
I took a sip on that.
So
This-
if I'm not invited,
Because I'm not going. I'm not going in. I'm not going.
Just, I distinctly remember we went for something I may remember, and I guess it was only one child at the time. Alexis, our oldest daughter, was in the car seat probably because it was young, and they had a conversation outside.
Good.
I was like, "Are you gonna go inside? Like, why are you standing?"
Can you identify?
Really?
Well, I'm just saying.
Are you being catty right now or petty?
I'm being both.
You being petty, catty, catty, whichever one you want to be.
Absolutely.
I can identify. I mean, listen, if I was taking my daughters home and I had to go to the bathroom, I had to stop a Quick Trip.
Why is that? I'm just saying to the viewers and to the listeners, why is that? It's for those that are listening to us, for those that are looking and viewing this right now, are you in that type of situation? And the question to the women, and I'm being just very frank with it, why? Like what serves you? What satisfaction does that give you to disengage or not allow that parent, that bio parent, and right now as we're speaking, fathers, to have that right to be or see or be a part of all aspects of that child's life? What does that do for you? Why? And I just don't understand it. And we're going to go in more detail about it, because at the same time, as bonus moms sitting here listening to this, we're trying to understand, like, that don't make no sense.
Yeah, but Alicia, let me ask you a question. As a therapist, and Leslie in the past has thought that I have protected my ex-wife. It's never been protection, it's been consideration, right? But my question to you is that a level of protecting when I think about it from her perspective, was that a level of protecting her peace, or was that just extreme?
You mean,
Like my not being able to ever come into the home, never. I remember there was a story where the girls had a birthday party that I had paid for. Let's just tell the truth and shame the devil. I had paid for it. I had paid for the decor. It was a princess sleepover party. And I had paid for all everything that was going in the house to create the princess sleepover party. And I can't remember if I brought them home or something the day of the party, or I came to the house to bring whatever it was. All I asked was, can I not just step in so I can see what my money, but can I just see what you did with this princess stuff? And I literally remember.
Peeking through the door.
And that was it.
yeah.
So you tell me. And I don't think there's a right or wrong. I'm just wondering.
I think there's so many layers to it that it is somewhat of a protection. I think it's also like hurt feelings on the part of the mom. For some women, it is, why didn't we have that life, or why couldn't we have had that life? How is it that, maybe we got to this point together, but now I see you like taking off on the other end. So there's a lot of factors there, but also, you got to look at the layers that we all bring to the table. I know these are two examples, y'all stories,
Sure.
but there are other people who have different examples and different stories, and it's not the moms doing all this, but it's the dad.
Right.
Or they're able to communicate and work together. But I think some of it is a part of the history that we bring to the table as individuals, the ability to communicate or not communicate. And then when hurt feelings get involved, especially, it's almost like, I was with him before you were with him. How come this one is getting the thing that maybe I wanted us to have?
Yep.
And so, or some of it sometimes is, especially if the mom is the one who's the primary caretaker, like, you owe me that, or you should be doing that. That's your job. You don't have to see it, because I'm doing this all the time. There's a lot of different pieces to the puzzle. And although, like, he said his piece about his story, and he made himself look all heroic. But when they would get off the phone, it was horrible.
Really?
And, I directly said, like, I wasn't even there when this happened. Why am I catching the heat?
Okay.
Right? Why am I catching the heat? So I would have to talk to him about, like, I wasn't there. That's not me. I'm not that. We have to have a different dynamic.
Wow.
We can't allow whatever this is to, like, take us in a different direction or affect our relationship.
Sure.
Because if you're that upset when you get off the phone, that impacts me. And
Absolutely.
but long story short, I think at the end of the day, whether it's you're in this relationship or it's a blended relationship, we all bring that to the table and like trying to figure out those puzzle pieces to kind of get to a place that everybody can live in. But then having all the adults remember, it's not about us, it's about the kids.
Yeah.
They feel
Yes, sure.
Of everything.
I agree.
So Ben, I do have a question. How long did your son stay with you all?
1 year.
Wow.
Why?
I think I said it at the beginning. The goal was for this to cause condition, and the division didn't happen.
So she.
So now that's back.
So she's like, I snatched it, snatched it.
Jesus.
Just, and when he originally set them, I said, well, we can go to court. But we were in court. I was in the court system.
Yeah.
We can go to court. I'm not asking for anything. I just want him. I'm not taking you for child support and none of that. Just give him to me. So, well, we're going to see. I'm like, okay, see how this is going. So I didn't give her what she wanted, which was
Discord.
see that this would work.
And she took
She
it.
snatched him. Now, let me tell you, in snatching her, then it became the vision of my child. Then it became wanting him to see me through her lens. And that's exactly what he did.
Sure.
He saw me through her lens.
Sure.
Although there was never a moment where he didn't, like you said, knew the address, knew cell phone number, knew where I lived. There was never a moment where I moved. Even when I left New York and moved to Florida, they knew exactly. He would come to me for the summer, you know, visitation and all that. So I would get him for a month or two during the summer. And when 5 years ago, when he moved here, my son, at 30 years old, wrote me a 10-page letter.
Jesus.
All the things that he could have ever thought about, he wrote in this letter. And at this point, he's a man.
Yes.
But now he wanted to talk like a man.
I get it.
So he laid it all out.
I understand.
My son and I spent 7 hours in a park. We walked for 7 hours.
Jesus.
Every question that he had ever asked me in that letter, because I must have read the letter 4 or 5 times. So I knew the letter verbatim. And I answered every single one of his questions that he asked me in that letter. I was able to dispel or dismantle.
Dispel? No, dispel. Dispel, because of
Lots of mistruths that his mother spoke up on me. There was never a moment where I ever said anything negative about his mom. Never, not once. No matter what I was feeling, the energy, and that's what it was. I was giving all the energy to her instead of putting it where it really belongs. But I was like,
do you
keep the peace. And I figured that if I just keep the peace, everything would go right. And it completely went the opposite way for me. So when I was done with that conversation with my son in that park, 7 hours, the burden was raised off of his shoulders, and the burden was raised off my shoulders. And I became 2 pieces.
Wow.
Before that, though, like if you back up from 9 until 30, there's been a dance of I like you, I don't like you. I mean, this thing is going on. I want you there. I don't want you there. Or communicating and then not communicating at all because of whatever was happening. And so that, you know, we have 4 girls and that's their brother.
Right. That's why I was
they're impacted as well. Why is he here? Like, what happened? Why is he talking to us? And, you know, all of that. So that day, with the 7-hour walk and talk, ended the back and forth dance. It is what it is. I'm your father, you're my son. You know, I'm his mom.
Sure.
But even that, like when he originally came with us, he's trying to figure out what to call me. I said, you don't have to call me mom. That you got one mom.
Yeah.
I support you like a mom, but you don't have to call me that. I don't ever want your mom to feel like I'm trying to take her place or disrespect her. Because I take motherhood seriously. I have one of the best moms. So can't nobody else have that title.
Wow. See.
So I don't want to take that title from him.
Yes.
Whereas with him, like he said, I knew how to stick and move in all these places. You couldn't call you mom or mommy in front of my mama. But everybody is mom or mama. Everybody got that title. And I'm like giving nobody else that title. So I didn't want him to feel like he had to like split a leash.
Sure.
Like I don't want him to do a pull. But ultimately that conversation allowed us to really like, and that was first.
Y'all all took a breath in that.
21 years.
I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with y'all too. I literally was prepared to fight.
The day in the park.
The day of the park?
The day my son and I were together in that park. I was prepared to physically fight. Because he had put so much in this letter.
Yeah.
Well, he said that to you in the letter, right?
Yeah.
Be ready.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, he said it. Like I'm ready to scrap. Like I'm
He was that angry.
I'm mad. So I was prepared. Like That's why we did it in a park, because I couldn't go to his place. They couldn't come to my place.
Just in
We
case.
gonna go to a neutral zone.
Wow.
Park. That way, we got all the grass for me to rub you with. That's what was supposed to.
Y'all hear that?
So that don't have to do that. All of New York was going. And then
I love it.
yeah, it would.
It would not have ended well.
And I thank God.
Yes, sir.
That it didn't go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because I would have literally had you forget he was my son.
Wow.
Wow.
But thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God. Absolutely.
In that
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
because he was in pain.
He was in pain.
He was in pain seeing we're together. Our girls get what he wanted to parent.
And he didn't, and he was being manipulated all at the same time. The innocence for him was stripped because
It wasn't until Thanksgiving 2024 that our son got an opportunity to have a picture with all of his, and they've never all been in the same room. That was the first time they've all been in the same room. And to some extent, the first time I think my youngest two even met his other siblings. That's how separate it was. That's how separate it was. And his desire has been for everybody to kind of come together. And honestly, it has started to be that way. But he's 35, and he's had his journey in that.
Sure.
But on the flip side, his mom has too. Like she has grown.
I was just about to say what.
And understood what should and should be, what's good and what's not good. Because now he's married, he lives here. That means if they
Exactly. Exactly.
if you're coming here in that regard as grandmother, it can't be the same
Such a
energy.
absolutely.
She verbalized that, and if I don't know if that's possible, but in the clip from their wedding, I cried like a baby, like he was mine.
I know I'm gonna say.
And his mom was trying to hold it in, and we were in this row and she was in the row, so we were diagonal to each other, and I'm messed up, and she trying to hold it together, but she started to cry, and I just grabbed her hand. And they didn't see it until they started watching the video, but they were like, "Oh, y'all are holding hands," because in that moment we are his parents.
Wow.
We are his parents, and so if we're gonna show up as his parents, we gotta show up as his parents.
This is so good, because honestly, it's so good because I'm don't get emotional, because I can identify with everything you're saying. Because who would do that? Who would be bawling? Kirsten, who bawled when they graduated? Who bawled when they went to prom? I'm a you a me, and their mom will hold it all together. When we use a story, Kyla graduated from high school. We went out to eat, and they played. Her family was like, "Oh, everybody, let's play a game." First of all, to me, the room felt so warm and cold all at the same time, because her family was sitting at one table, our family was sitting at another table, and I was just like, I don't know how to act, what to do, so then they said, let's play this game. Who knows Kyla best? So they started calling out the questions, and I knew every single answer, to the point that her mom didn't know some of the answers, and I was like, okay, I'm telling him, going to respond. He was like, respond, you know the girl. No. Because in my mind, I can't know her child, or I can't disclose that she shares some things with me that she hasn't even shared with her mother yet. No, because what that's going to do is cause strife that I don't want. I'm already sitting here cold. So I don't want to make it worse. So he's like, so finally my father-in-law says, Leslie knows the answer.
He's messy.
He's messy.
Because he wants to get the attention and everybody knows she know the answer. But prior to that, he's saying, don't you do it. She gonna kill you. And then he goes,
So when
set my wife up.
So when it's time and they ask for the answers and I give it all, it's almost at this fearful, but almost a release for me at the same time. And let me tell you why. I was fearful for what may transpire between Kyla and her mom because I knew so much. But then at the same time, I felt a sense of release because Kyla and I had that connection where she trusted me enough to know that those parts about her. And to know that, you know, you guys have felt situations like that, you know, mind you, I will give their mom this. She has always been an advocate, and she has allowed us to always keep our children together. They are siblings. They love each other. I've never been pulled away in any aspect from loving them. Even though it may be hurtful to her, I think deep down inside, she knows that my love for them is genuine. It was the first time she actually kind of, sort of, in her own way, included me in a thank you. She said, I think Leslie, but she said, it's a village, and I appreciate.
So you were so wait.
I appreciate the village. So I was like, that's me. That's including me.
Okay. Yeah, that was you.
But in that moment, and your dad didn't help, I was like, okay. He was like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So in that moment, you know, I felt like, okay, this is a thank you that I'll never hear. And I got to be okay with that, you know, and we tell our viewers all the time, you know, and I've talked about situations that I've experienced, and we've even talked about some situations that, questions that came to us. And one was the whole, we're blended, but not so much, because it had been they've been together all this time, but the connection just ain't there, you know. And what happens when you have other children? You just spoke on how your daughters felt. Well, that's my brother, but I don't know him.
I have one daughter that she would be ready to fight about her brother, but he has other sisters too. So it's a delicate dance. You definitely have to know the Lord and be,
Absolutely.
but you also got to give people grace.
Good.
And at the end of the day, everybody is coming to the table as human who has feelings, who's had past experience, and especially if you see like maybe one side is really progressing and moving, and maybe the other side might not be as much. That's a little hurtful too, right? So trying to again keep the main thing,
Sure.
which is the children.
Sure. Sure. I feel like, you know, I was getting ready to ask if there was any advice that you could share with anybody who might be experiencing similar, you know, or might have a similar story. And if you have more, please, by all means, share. I feel like you kind of just did, but even if there's anything, being from your perspective, if you knew somebody that was dealing with that, let's say a father, you know.
I think one of the things for sure that I can say, the word of advice, is it's not about me. Because when you talk about your children and them growing up, and as my wife talked about, is that one day they may have children of their own.
Yeah.
Then you're now grandparents.
Yeah.
Now there's Christmas, there's Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
there's all of these holidays that now come about that requires
Everybody to come together.
Absolutely.
because or what happens is now your child has to be divided
Yes.
between you
Yes. Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
the other one or the other. And if I could share
Please.
what happened to us, he decided that he would host Thanksgiving
Oh, yeah.
because he wanted to have
Everybody.
in the same room.
This is beautiful.
That. But not only that, he called me and said, Dad, can my siblings stay at your house?
Wow.
So all three of them came and stayed at our house.
Wow.
By God's grace, we still have room for everybody, but
Sure.
still the reality was I then had to go to wife and go, hey,
Yeah.
They all.
They need to come over and say, and this is about Brandon. This is about what
Right. Sure.
for him.
Sure.
But the slippery slope in that was, okay, well, now his mom is also coming to the city. It's also coming to the city.
Then.
But I'm like, okay, but that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Not even so much to the point where she can't even come over. And now the stuff that, because you got the peek, only got the peek in the door, all of that's coming back.
Back to.
And I'm like, oh. So now the ball is in our court. Okay, I was being a little catty.
Yeah.
But then my wife, being the loving, sweet, thoughtful one, says, then, I think that you should invite her over.
This is 2 separate occasions, though. That was Thanksgiving 2024, where even I was like, I need an apology before she can come.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I need an apology.
Okay.
But when I said about her coming over,
Yes.
being invited, that was after the wedding,
Okay.
which was August 2020. So it's a whole year later.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And the reality of it was, the reason why I felt it was appropriate was because I saw the change in her. I think she recognized on that day, the wedding, that I really did love her son, and I meant no harm. I loved him like I was my own, like he's my own. And I think she saw it. Well, you know, at the wedding, you have the father dance with the daughter and the mother dance with the son, and he had his dad and his mom walk him down the aisle. I chose to, you know, I didn't want to take that moment from her. I didn't want to be in that,
Sure.
right?
Understood.
But when it came to the dance with his mom, they did the dance. And then I'm saying, oh, that's so sweet. You know, next thing I know, they started playing Prince, who was my favorite artist. And
I'm at the start Corey.
And the MC was like, she didn't know this is a surprise. And he comes and walked her the mood. We just stood there and cried.
I bet. Rocking and crying.
And his sister, his older sister, with his mom was like, y'all just cried.
Dance.
So we just stood there and cried with each other because it was,
And it was so fun.
element done.
No.
You know, like we caused done. And that was, I will never forget that. That was so special.
Good.
I'm trying to hold him back, Lord. I'm trying to hold him back.
No sense of holding
I
back.
had Tammy Faye.
If I can just add to what if you all have listened, one of the things you have to listen to, what she's saying, she's always said, my son. She didn't say my stepson, my half son. If you're going to accept the child, accept the child.
That's
The
right.
child is your child.
That's right.
Because you're going to do for that child just like you do
Yes, sir.
biologically.
Yes, sir.
Like,
Yes, sir.
so let's cut out the
Yeah.
step in the half. It's your child. Name it your child and call it what it is. And that will go a long way for the child.
Yeah.
As well.
That's real. That's real. And so we're gonna put a pause here because, you know, first of all, before I say that, she said grace. This season has been
Oh, yeah.
a season of grace. I promise you,
It's a
every
common
season just flows into. We have talked about grace in each episode. It's God is here. It's amazing. But they tell him about, you know, the sponsor. You know, he does it so well. You know what I'm saying? You know, so, say it, babe. You got to talk about it.
Thank you to all of the amazing sponsors of the My Dope Blend podcast.
Yeah.
You know, just sitting here with the Walkers, just amazing conversation. It's amazing. These amazing guests, and we call them family. It couldn't be possible without those that have partnered with us and continue to allow us and help us to continue with the My Dope Blend podcast. Your being connected with us is more than just your giving funds to make a podcast happen. It's changing lives.
Yes, it is.
It's affecting lives. It's giving fundamental tools that are creating healthy and helping to create healthy relationships. So we thank you to every sponsor, to every person that donates and continues to help us to keep My Dope Blend podcast going. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To those of you that are part of the Bonus Club community, we appreciate you because you also help us to show that there are others that have these same experiences. And there are some that are new in this journey of blending that could use the support of those that have been blending for years.
Yep.
So the My Dope Blend, the Bonus Club community, we want all of you. If you're not a part of the community, please go to www.mydopeblend.com. Click Let's Blend and join the Bonus Club. That'll give you the opportunity to be a part of the community. You get a few extra clips after we finish each podcast each week, and just be able to be surrounded by all those that are also walking the same journey as you. So thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to everybody who has joined the Bonus Club. Continue everybody to like, share, subscribe, get in those comments. Let us know. This is an amazing conversation happening today. We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? What are your experiences?
Share your story.
Yeah, share your story so that we can, get in the conversation with you. So,
And we're not done. We're not done because there's something that I want to say. So we talked about in an episode that when a person goes through a heartbreaking event, sometimes that pain and that hurt, they're still there. It could be 20 years ago, but they're still at that very moment that somebody said, I want a divorce, or this isn't working, or having to confront the kids and say, we're splitting. Those children are still sitting at that table when their parents said we're ending, and they haven't moved from that space. They've gotten older, but their heart and their emotions are still sitting right there. So for your son's mother, in my mind, she was still sitting there for years. My question to you is, did you ever have a conversation with her now that you guys have come together as a family to say, okay, I'm sorry, this is where we are now, let's make amends? Has that happened yet?
No.
So what is the dynamic when you all are together?
There's respect,
Mm-hmm.
but that's about the extent of it. There's acknowledgement of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in the room. I acknowledge her. I'll give her a hug, say, hey. But that's about the extent of it. I don't indulge in any more conversation because now I don't have to. I don't have to because when he was younger, I had to. And I couldn't wait for the day when I didn't have to, because now I can go directly to divorce. And so it's a slippery slope.
It is.
Yeah, sure.
It is a slippery slope. So I think that answer is the solid answer up until the wedding,
okay.
which was August 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, we went to the wedding, we had all the people come over, all the things. And then after the wedding, I think this was maybe the Saturday or Sunday after, I said, invite her over.
Yeah.
She can come and have a seat and we can talk, just be in company with each other, because it has really been years where we're talking just in the same space. So I think with time, with age, with understanding, yes, we had this back and forth battle, whatever, for years as parents, but her recognizing, I want to be a part of my son's life. I want to be a part of him in this new walk, and I want to be a part of him when or if they have children, and I cannot be. I mean, she literally said that. I know I can't be that way anymore. So she showed a shift. We showed a shift so that we can then all come together over it. So that answer is valid up until the wedding. And then after that, I think, again, her recognizing that we really do love him. And that we do want to support him. And now, you know, it's a different
Western.
Yeah, I'm going to add to that. And maybe, well, I know my wife doesn't really know. She knows of it. But my son has 3 siblings whom I converse with on a regular. So I'm like their father figure because of the 3, neither one of their fathers are alive.
Wow.
So
This is so good.
and it's no fault of theirs that they're fathers.
Sure.
And because they share a brother,
Yeah.
my child,
Yeah.
I have nothing against them.
Right.
So they call me and be like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking I need to do or want to do. And they have not been shy about letting their mother know that they have a relationship. Now it's died.
I didn't know that, but I do know, like, they all 3 of them is children. He does not.
Okay.
So when they came with their children, I was like, Cosmos and like you watched.
Okay.
It was like, I don't know.
Right.
So yes, I do.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, that's a whole nother dynamic.
Right.
That they're not, that those aren't Brandon's children.
Yeah.
Also, I don't want the smoke if they come up here and they enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord.
So that's still a thing.
Because they do enjoy it. Because what they get is they get something different.
They get
They
peace.
get stability and they get peace.
They get stability. They're right. That's exactly
Yeah,
right. But
yeah.
The main thing is peace.
Yeah, they get peace.
What did Kirsten say?
Yeah, it's about peace. Kirsten has made it clear.
That's our oldest girl.
Yeah, that you know, she has peace in our home. She finds peace there.
She's graduating college, and she said, I just want y'all to know, when I come back to Georgia, I'm living with you all. And we were like, oh, really? She said, I need peace. She said, and what you guys provide is peace. And it's so crazy that the very person that tried to manipulate and pull your son away, her other children gravitate toward. And that speaks volumes of you as an individual and your character and your heart. And I know internally that makes your son proud. And even the more, from the letter to y'all 7-hour talk, everything that he probably thought of you, it's like, wow. This is one.
Can I just say one thing about the peace?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just from a therapist's perspective, the word for it is peace, but internally it is our nervous system. It is at rest.
Right.
So when our nervous system is triggered, fight, flight, freeze, we're on guard, we don't know what to do, we're like, watching out for what's going to happen. And if you've lived in an environment where I call it the drama, trauma, chaos, confusion scenario, you're always alert.
Okay.
But if you're coming to a home that doesn't have that, I can now
The system can rest. Wow.
and now my nervous system is at rest.
Wow.
And when your nervous system is at rest, it feels like
Peace.
Ooh.
We got to go. We got to go. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Y'all coming back.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
We
Yeah.
can't do Skittles today, so y'all got to come back just to do Skittles.
Yes. It's okay. So to our family, to our blended family, we appreciate you all so much. And I hope that you got all the tools. You heard the stories. We were wild. And you not only heard the story, but you hear a man's heart.
Yeah.
and his courage.
Yeah.
And in that, you also hear the support
Yeah.
of a loving wife.
Sure.
Because of her support and because of her heart, it softened the heart of the mother.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about when we're talking about blending. You know, it may not happen in 5 years, it may not happen in 10, but if we do the necessary work internally, collectively, it'll all come together. And if we keep God first in it, he'll definitely bring it together full circle, and we'll all heal from it. And whatever that looks like for you all, I really, really hope that you all have listened to this and take it in retrospect and be like, you know what? Maybe I need to do some things differently. Maybe there needs to be some forgiving and healing on my part as well. You have anything to add to that?
I pray that the Lord gives everybody nervous system rest.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that nervous system.
Find his nervous system rest
Yes,
and live in that.
yes. So to the family, keep blending. Be as dope as you possibly can. We love y'all. Come back.
Y'all gotta share this one.
Subscribe. I mean,
Y'all
y'all got to share this. I know y'all was like, Lord have mercy.
Subscribe, comment.
Yes,
We're gonna all get in the comments.
yes, absolutely.
We're gonna share with you a little more.
All right, peace out, Blend. We love y'all.
Keep blending.